Hey, what is up, YouTube? It's G3 Iron, your buddy, and the littlest version of me. Hopefully we're gonna have a good time today, right, bud? We're gonna talk some PoE. All right, so welcome, hello, and greetings, and welcome. I got the little one with me here today, and he's awake. You say hi, bud? He's awake wearing his little Batman costume. A regular old little Bruce Wayne hanging out with us today. So welcome to everybody. It's good to have you here today. I am just sitting here on Reddit waiting for Bex's profile essentially to update to say that, hey, we've got the actual legitimate AMA going on. So while we wait, we've got some news here today. A couple of different things. Yesterday, they posted, they being Bex of Grinding Gear Games, posted, of course, the announcement that there was going to be an AMA today, but also included this wonderful FAQ. So I'm going to make my way through this FAQ as we can, as we're waiting. If the AMA starts, just feel free to let me know in chat, and then we can get jumped over to that part of the browser. But this is an alternate version of Blade Vortex and faster projectiles. So here's Blade Vortex. Blade Vortex with the alternate quality. I like this right here. You guys see this? You guys see that on my... Hopefully my cursor is actually highlighting for you guys. Where it actually says alternate quality. I like that. That is quality in and of itself. So good work by everybody over at Grinding Gear Games to actually highlight that this is an alternate version of the gem. It'd be nice. I mean, I guess it makes sense to put alternate quality next to quality rather than including it in the gem title. But it does feel like that's a bit... There's a lot of information on gems, right? This is the baby. Welcome, Neil. This is little baby. Smallest Draconis. And he's joining us just for a little bit today. Oh, he's waving. He's waving, guys. Oh, he brings such joy. So I feel like quality, yeah, it makes sense to put alternate quality underneath quality, but I feel like in the gem name, it would be helpful. Or if there was a different symbol or something that would highlight. I don't know. I'm just thinking about path of building. I'm thinking about how we'll oftentimes do stream help for viewers and for community members. I'm thinking how we'll often give extra attention for Patreon supporters, and I'll go in and take a look at their paths of building and give them build advice. And so this is totally selfish. I'm willing to say I'm being selfish on this. I want a way so that way I can look whether I'm building a build myself or whether I'm helping somebody else. Or whether I'm not helping somebody else. Like, I don't want to be unhelpful while trying to help somebody. when I look at their setup and I'm like, why are you doing this all this way? And they're like, oh, well, it's because I'm using an alternate gem. Oh, now... Or I'm using a replica unique. Oh, now your entirely different, unique, weird setup looks... It makes more sense now. So... I feel like we got to highlight that as best as we can. So we got Blade Vortex that now 1% of damage is leached as life. Joyful Wanderer says they're planning on adding some color-based visual indicator or similar. Bex mentioned. Hey, that'd be great. The one downside of color-based stuff is for people who have certain colorblind sensitivities, it can be tough. It can be tough for people that do struggle with that. So that is one downside. Welcome, Abdullah. Welcome, Robert. The replica unique have it in the name. Maybe so they should rename them or something. Yeah. Like maybe it would just say alternate Blade Vortex or AQ. It stands for alternate quality. I don't know. Something that really can grab us with the UI and with the gem description. What do you think, bud? He's looking at me like, are you kidding me? I'm going to take a nap. Faster projectiles gives us projectiles have 60% chance to return to you from the final target. The question that I asked on the Reddit thread as soon as this got posted was, how many projectiles can we make here? Like, what's the maximum amount of projectiles that we can fire out and then potentially have return? Like, I feel like that could be something. If that's something that you could use on a ballista and you like have some meme build where you have like 20 ballistas set up and each of them are firing, I don't know, 10. I don't know. Let's do some quick maths here. If you've got 10 ballistas set up, I'm not even going to go crazy here with 20. Let's just say 10. Let's say you got 10 ballistas times 20 projectiles each, let's say. What is that? 200? And then 60% are going to return. So what is that? 120 projectiles return back? That could be interesting. Is this the meme builds league? Yes, Samuel. I think those people who have been wanting a meme build league, they're getting it now. I think they're getting it now. I think that's accurate to say at this point. Because with all the different uniques that we've got that are available to us that are getting tweaked, there's going to be something out there. If you want to be a hipster, you want to be a snowflake, you want to be a special stack of hay, you can do that. Like, you're going to be able to do that this league. Is it fair to say that POBs will be crazy to define this league? Yeah. Imagine what... Do you guys remember what it was like with Timeless Jewels? When Timeless Jewels first came out, how difficult it was to quantify. And even now, it still often is. But some players are coming out with more and more better mechanisms for quantifying what a Timeless Jewel does. And more players are getting... essentially, we're creating a social expectation of when you're sending somebody a POB, include what your Timeless Jewel does, or make a custom item that includes what your Timeless Jewel does, or include a note about what your Timeless Jewel does. Think about Timeless Jewels and the quality of life hazard or danger or threat that they were to Path of Building when they came out. I feel like replica uniques potentially are going to be that way, and alternate quality gems. Like, it just means there's the potential for there to be a lot of misunderstandings as people are looking at one another's Path of Building. I think that's true. Hey, welcome Barnett. Welcome. Good to see you. Little G3 Iron says hello, or littlest. There are lots of little G3 Irons running around, but this is the littlest one. So what'd you miss? We were just reviewing Blade Vortex and Faster Projectiles. These are the alternate quality, the AQ versions of them. That got posted, what was that, 19 minutes ago over on Reddit? And now we're just waiting for the official AMA to start over here. You guys can see this. Hopefully you guys can see this. That this is on the official, it's on the R Games subreddit. This is the official AMA starting at, in what, 18 minutes from now? So that's where we are. So we're just catching everybody up on Heist until the AMA goes live. So, here's the FAQ. Where do you get markers, contracts, and blueprints from? All three drop from monsters throughout the world, including in Delves and the Labyrinth. You can also get blueprints, grand heists, and contracts from heists. If you successfully complete a heist and turn in the artifact, you'll also receive a sum of markers greater than you paid for the heist. Okay, so this is interesting. This right here, typically Grinding Gear Games does not allow for league content to interact with the Labyrinth. So that's interesting that we can get contracts, blueprints, and markers from the Labyrinth. So if you just want to farm the Labyrinth, if you're just a lab farmer, you can still get league content. You also get blueprints for grand heists from contracts. Okay, so there's two levels of heists. There's contracts, which is tier 1 heist, and blueprints, which are the grand heist. So think of these heists like a safe house, maybe, almost. And then think of the blueprints for the grand heist like a mastermind. That's at least what comes to my mind when I'm thinking of a two-tiered system. And some of the UI. But Bex has clarified, and I feel like over the last 48 hours since the announcement was made, a lot of clarification has been made that Heist is not going to be like Betrayal. I still feel like the theme and the look of the UI is very similar to Betrayal. Maybe that's just because that's Path of Exile's theme and UI. Maybe that's why. What do artifacts do? Artifacts are the main objective from a non-grand heist. The artifact you're seeking will be shown on the contract before the heist commences. Okay. If you complete the heist successfully with artifact in hand, you can turn it into Faustus, the fence, at the Rogue Harbor in exchange for a sum of markers greater than you paid to run the heist. Alright. So artifacts are just chunks of change. That's what they are. What's the difference between a contract and a blueprint? Contracts are needed to run heists, and blueprints are needed to run grand heists. To run a grand heist, okay, to run a contract. So to run a contract, you'll need to take it to Adaya, the Wayfinder in Rogue Harbor. You'll pay her a sum of markers to arrange the heist, allow you to select the specialized rogue you'd like to take with you, and handle transportation. Contracts can be crafted, if desired, to increase their difficulty and reward, much like maps. To run a grand heist, you'll need to pay Wakano, the barber, in markers for the intel he's received from your earlier heists. Is Wakano the barber bald? That's my only question. This intel can reveal escape routes, reward rooms, and more. Reveal as much as you desire or as much as you can afford, and then take the blueprint to the planning room in the Rogue Harbor where Kurai, the administrator, will help you arrange which NPCs you want to take with you and confirm the blueprint. Okay, so Kurai is kind of like Zana in this regard. Right? It's kind of like the map. The planning room is like your map device for contracts. Or for heists, sorry. For a contract, it's Adaya. Okay. At this point, you can either trade the blueprint to another player if you'd like, or take it to Adaya to arrange transportation and begin the grand heist. Okay. There are some gameplay differences between contracts and blueprints, but the main difference is that contracts lay the groundwork for grand heists and yield markers and other regular Path of Exile items as rewards, while grand heists yield exclusive rewards. These can include trinkets, alternate quality gems, rare body armor and weapons with enchantments, experimented base types, and replica uniques. Okay. So, if you guys were just hoping to get rare body armors and weapons that had enchantments on them, or the experimental base types and replica uniques, the only way you're going to get those is through a trade league, or if you actually run the grand heists. That's what that looks like. FYI. Okay. What actions affect the alert level? Clay says, as long as you get the artifact, you can run heists indefinitely. Yeah, in before somebody races to level 100 just by doing contracts. That would be interesting. That would be really interesting. What actions affect the alert level? Alert level is affected by killing guards, opening reward chests, opening side passages, and some rogues when performing their specialized skills. You've got specialized skills, don't you? Like taking naps, filling your diaper. He looks like Elmer Fudd. It's like, are you talking about me? You big, bald geriatric, you got no room to talk. That's what he's saying. How much emphasis is put on moving stealthily? Okay, we were back on alert level. Sorry, I was lost in a moment with my son. Give me a break. Alert level is affected by killing guards, opening reward chests, opening side passages, and some rogues. Killing enemies has a small effect on the alert level, while opening side passages and chests can result in larger increases. This means that the main thing you'll need to consider is how much loot you want to gather before you reach the artifact. We have intentionally designed the league so that you can still kill a lot of monsters and earn a lot of items without worrying about this too much. Okay. How much emphasis is put on moving stealthily? I feel like Chris has already answered this one 1,000,000 times. And that's just in 48 hours. What happens when you reach maximum alert level? When you reach maximum alert level, you'll trigger the alarm. You'll have a brief window to steal as much as you can, including the artifact if you're close enough, before the facility goes into lockdown and you're swarmed by guards. When the facility is in lockdown, you can't steal anything else. You can escape with the goods you already have if you can fight your way through the guards. If you didn't manage to get the artifact but still manage to escape, then you won't be able to turn a profit on your markers, but you'll still get to keep the other goods you stole. You also won't gain any experience on your rogue skill or gather intel for revealing portions of Grand Heist. Okay, guys, I just put 2 and 2 together. So markers are basically sulfite. The only time that you'll need to leave contracts or Grand Heists is if you run out of markers to keep running them, right? It's sulfite. This is like Delve League again. Is that accurate? Am I misunderstanding this? Like, as long as you get the artifact and you get a whole bunch of markers from that, you can just keep rolling on through. If you just want regular Path of Exile items and don't want to heavily engage in running heists, it's a viable strategy to simply begin the heist, steal as much as you can until you reach the alert level cap, and then make your escape. I'm going to steal the declaration of Grinding Gear Games. Can I still get the artifact if I cap the alert level? When you trigger the alarm, you'll have a short window to continue stealing things before the facility goes into lockdown. If you're close enough to the artifact, this means that you can still grab it before lockdown goes into full effect. There are also mechanisms in play that can extend or modify the amount of alert required to reach the maximum alert level. Okay. How do minions affect your alert level? Having a slew of minions potentially means that you'll aggro more guards than other builds would, meaning that you'll generate more alert level as you kill them. As mentioned above, killing guards raises the alert level by a relatively small amount compared to other actions during the heist. Many guards are also positioned to the other sides of doors, letting you choose whether to aggro them or not, regardless of whether you have minions. Okay, so if you want to play a Golemancer, a Skelemancer, Animate, Weaponmancer, anything, you're still going to be good. You're still going to be fine. That's good news. That's very good news, in my opinion. Hey, welcome, Valiant. I go back to the Atlas. What Atlas? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's what I'm thinking here. Is the escape timed? No, the escape is not timed. There's no timer on your way to the artifact. There's no timer in your escape. The only element that includes a timer is that when the alarm has been triggered, a timer will start to let you know how much time you have left to collect loot before the facility goes into lockdown and you're swarmed by guards. Okay. Alright. It's going to be interesting, the number of people who are upset that essentially they lost their stuff. Like, how many people die in Labyrinth? Hello. Wave and say hello. How many people die in Labyrinth? It's going to be very interesting to see how many people fail a heist and get really butthurt about that. Like, how bad is that going to feel? We don't know yet until we can actually play. Right? Yeah, we don't know yet. We don't know yet until we can actually play, but that's going to be interesting. A heist attempt is only considered a failure if you die after the lockdown and lose your contraband. If you die after the lockdown is in effect, you won't be able to return to the heist and collect these items. But they can be collected by remaining party members. So, here's a piece of advice, guys. Start planning out your party members now. If you die prior to the lockdown, you can return to the heist. Remember how we have a video that's a relatively popular video on the channel where we talk about goals, setting goals for yourself in a Path of Exile session and in a league? If one of your goals is to interact with heists, you probably should make it a goal to play with friends as well. Or conversely, if you always play with friends, you might want to make heists specifically a goal. That's going to be quite fun to play. You can somewhat consider it a failed state if you don't reach the artifact, because you can't turn it in for profit, advance your rogue's experience, or gather intel from the heist. But if you make it out, you'll still get to keep your other rewards. In a grand heist, each wing has its own alert level to manage, so if you fail at one wing, you'll still be able to attempt the others. You can also stash your items between wings to lock them in case you die in one of the other wings. Yeah, so that's almost like Hall of Grandmasters. It's different wings or different substations. What are these friend things that you speak of? I know, they're rare, they're wonderful, and if you can't find them, all you have to do is find one person who you love and who will love you back, and then you can make your own friends. I mean, that's what me and Mrs. Draconis have been doing for, this weekend will be 11 years, you know? You get together and you start making friends. He's a couple years away from joining the party in PoE and joining the guild, but there's hope. There's hope. Can guards capture me? No, only kill you. What is contraband? Items that you collect inside Heist are considered contraband. Contraband is just a fancy way of saying that, yeah, it's an indicator to show which items you'll lose if you die within the Heist. Yeah. All items you manage to take with you, you will lose the contraband indicator when you leave the Heist. So it's a temporary block saying, hey, this item doesn't get to come with you when you die. Drop item on death. Which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people are going to QQ, though. A lot of people who fail at the Labyrinth and who die in the Labyrinth are going to die in these heists and are going to be very upset. Just wait, right? We've had gray on gray league. We've had blue on blue league. Just wait until there's some ground effect that you can't even see. And we're all going to hate it for the first 2 weeks. And it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It'll get patched. It'll get fixed. But set your expectations that way. Expect that there will be bugs and that you'll fail some stuff. And it's okay. Alright, I'm going to go bring the baby back to Mrs. Draconis, and then hopefully when I get back here, let's see here. Is it going to be Bex's, does anybody know? Is it going to be Bex's account that's going to be hosting the, it probably won't be, right? It'll probably be a mod, like here. Will it be pinned? Hey, there it is, 14 minutes ago. Alright, we got it. Okay, so let's pull this up. I'm going to go give Littlest Draconis to Mrs. D, and then we can get into this AMA. All right. All right. If you guys ever wondered why I'm such a such a strong physique, it's because I carry babies all around. That's how. You just got to carry babies everywhere you go. Okay. I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. We make Path of Exile, a free-to-play action RPG AMA. All right, so it's not Chris, or it's not Bex who's hosting it. It's Bex. We started developing Path of Exile in my garage in Auckland nearly 14 years ago. Should I say it in the Chris Wilson voice? Nah, we'll spare you guys. We now have a team of over 145 and have expanded Path of Exile across platforms and throughout the world. We release new expansions every 13 weeks and are working towards the release of Path of Exile 2, a sequel that will be patched into the main Path of Exile client upon release so that players can play whichever storyline they want before entering the shared endgame. I'd love to answer your questions about getting a studio off the ground, making games, and of course, anything Path of Exile. Yeah, it's not Bex, it's Chris. But yeah, I probably did say it wrong, Dusty. You're right. You're right. All right, so let's see what do we got here. We're going to sort by the top, and then we'll work our way down. I don't know. What should I do? Should I sort by new? Isn't there a way to go into these chat rooms that are like live? Isn't there a way to do that? What is this? What's Q&A? Sort by Q and A. Oh, okay. Questions that have been asked and answered. Cool. There is a way to do this. I'm so glad there's a way to do this. But you know what? This is really, really tiny text. I don't like that. Can I? Oh, why would you click off of that? I'm on this. This is a web page, right? Silly Reddit. Let's do this. I'm going to move you guys over here. Oh my goodness. Can I make it bigger? There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit more readable now. Hopefully. There we go. All right, let's see what questions. This is from Apesa? Apeza. Hi, Chris. Apparently PoE on PC already has some kind of controller support implemented into the game, but not ready to be available for the players because it requires more work. Is it possible to greenlight this feature to release even in an unpolished state? As many PoE players really enjoy playing games and action RPGs with controllers and or are having wrist issues. Yeah, I'm having wrist issues. It's one of the reasons why I use this beautiful mouse. Mrs. Draconis actually commented over the last 2 weeks. She said, wow, I've noticed you're not wearing your wrist guard to bed anymore. And I said, yeah, my wrist really hasn't hurt me over the last month. Oh yeah, it's because we had a baby and I haven't been playing much PoE. Alright, so we don't need separate UI or any other fancy features, except that's what everybody with a controller would want. They would want their own UI. So don't, I mean, that's a very naive question, in my opinion. You might not, Apex, but everybody who's playing with a controller is going to want to have some kind of UI on there. Okay, just some bare bones movement, targeting, and item pickup. Chris says, the PC and console versions share a source code base, but no work has gone into making controller support work for the PC version. There's your answer. There's your answer. It basically involved switching it over into something like a console mode for the UI, which is controller friendly, but we need to do a bunch of work to make that possible on PC. This is on the roadmap before PoE 2, alongside hopefully mouse, keyboard support for console. Ideally, it won't matter which platform you play on. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fascinating. All right, here's another one. Thanks for the AMA, Chris. It feels like Path of Exile puts out content at a pace that would be unheard of in other games, even much larger ones. How does your team pull it off? Is balance being less of a concern since the game is primarily single player a major contributing factor? There's some wacky grammar here, but we're on Reddit. This is all over the world. I might call this person's grammar wacky, but my grammar is actually worse. I mean, I just called Chris Bex twice. So, who am I to say grammar's funny? Hi, Chris. One of my favorite aspects of PoE is the alternative art race reward items that possesses the same kind of mystique about them as owning an alpha card of Magic. Do you have any plan to allow us to skin transfer those alt art items in temporary leagues? as the vast majority of my collection is currently gathering dust in Standard. Chris says, skin transferring alternate art items is something we like the idea of, but have not been prioritizing recently. I hate to use COVID as an excuse, but honestly, it pushed a lot of improve races plans to next year. That's fair. I think that's fair. Have you given any thought to improving the console version of the game beyond the same updates that the PC version gets? I think he's going to say no, because that would split the game. Our first goal is getting feature parity between the PC and console versions. Yeah, bring them up to snuff together. We recently added chat to console and have been working on guild support. We want them to be completely identical regardless of the platform. Maybe someday there will be cross-platform. Maybe someday. Not now, not anytime soon, but maybe someday. All right, here's a question that was asked and answered 10 minutes ago. Man, he's just flying out with these questions. Hey, Chris, was Path of Exile Mobile in development before the Diablo Immortal announcement? And if so, was there any serious consideration to terminate the project seeing such a negative reaction from the Diablo fanbase? At the time that the Backlash happened, we were already confident that our mobile game was going to be awesome, so it didn't worry us. Hey! Shots fired. Hey, if you build a game that doesn't suck, you don't have to pull it. Hey! Oh! The only reason why you ever have to worry about your community being upset with you is if you underdeliver on a product. Hey! Oh, this is what I call bald man energy. This is why Chris Wilson is such a wonderful exemplar of what it means to be a bald man. Okay, memes aside, he continues. However, the Backlash helped us shape our announcement, which we feel went really, really well. Went very well. The trick was announcing the large sequel first. Hey, Blizzard, if you don't want people upset at you at your grandstand event, give them what they're wanting, and then show them what they're not wanting, and they might want it. Hey! He italicized first, guys. I don't even know how to do that. Is that like double asterisk or double tilde or something? I mean, I'm just here for the memes, I guess. Oh, we're making a picture of this right now. We got to make a picture of that right now. Oh my goodness. Where is my paint? Oh, what a quote! Oh my gosh. I'm taking that quote right now. Are we sure this isn't another GGG employee who put him up to say this? That's savage. Yeah. That's a word to say. That is a word to say. All right, I've got the text here. I've got it input into my Paint document. I can make a meme now, and we'll be good. I mean, you don't have to worry about it if you make a good game, right? You never have to worry about your audience not liking what you've made if you're confident in what you made, right? We were confident that our mobile game was going to be awesome. that it was not going to be a rip-off of another already made game. Oh, Chris Wilson. That's... There's a reason why people really like the Path of Exile dev team, and this is one of them. Like this right here, this answer. Okay, but let's move on. Hi, Chris. With the Wall of Flame being added in Heist, is Frostwall being updated? I love the skill, and it's pretty unique in PoE, but it's been a while since it's been really usable. Have you used it during the Elder fight? It's pretty usable there. There aren't any imminent changes to Frostwall that I'm aware of. Okay, lots of questions here, but I'm not seeing any more answers. So let's try to update this. Oh, nice. There you go. He answered this question. Thanks for the AMA, Chris. This is the single-player question that we were making fun of grammar for. Yeah, here's the video on developing PoE, right? Hopefully that's accurate. I don't want to click on that just in case it's not. But Chris, yeah, Chris... Okay, Chris says so. The video in the parent post definitely explains how we try to do it. To address your question, I wanted to add that balance is definitely a concern, and we spend a lot of resources on trying to get that fun. Not perfectly balanced, but appropriately abusable. Appropriately abusable is hilarious, but also perfectly describes the PoE experience. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how they feel about Delirium Jewels now. Is that a question? Should we ask Chris? Hey, Chris. A couple months after Delirium Jewels, how are you feeling about them? You know? All right, let's see. Hey, Chris, thanks for taking the time to answer questions. Here's mine. Are you guys looking to redo the Atlas in the near future, similar to that of the Conqueror's expansion? Well, they do one of those every single year. Think before you vomit. Furthermore, with both Harvest and Heist, there seems to be a bit of a disconnect from maps in general, and I'm wondering whether there is a long-term strategy behind this. Yes, we do intend to release more endgame expansions. We have not yet decided if that'll be December or March, though, for the next one. Maybe we'll split it between the two. It's a little harder to manage development resources during the pandemic because of the intermittent lockdowns and inability to hire from overseas. Yes, you are right that both Harvest and Heist don't have their gameplay occurring in the map that you're playing in. We're okay with this where it's best for the league, though we do want more in-map leagues soon. That's an interesting question. In-map leagues. Basically the question, right? I think I want to ask him about the card game. I think I want to ask him about the card game at ExileCon. Hey Chris, I loved watching TY for PoE and all the hard work the team do. Every 3 months, I know what I'll be doing for the next 2 months. I loved watching the card game at ExileCon, but couldn't attend the event. Are there plans for any kind of future iterations either digitally or physically of that card game or others. Thanks. There we go. Spam the query. Yeah. I mean, that's every league, right? Every league is go to Quarry Farm. All right, let's go back to the Q&A, right? All right, so we did that one. We did that one. We did that one. That's the savage quote of the day. Oh, here we go. Talking about April Fools. These questions are for anyone who works at GGG, and I would be happy to get a lot of answers from different people. Yeah, well, not everybody's doing that. So it's Chris who's doing the AMA. Also, I want to say thank you to everyone working at GGG for delivering awesome expansions every 3 months. I've been playing since Incursion and extremely liked every season so far. That's great. Shout out to my man Mark II, aka Neon. I personally think you have an excellent vision regarding the future and balancing of PoE. Loved your talk to ExileCon. Keep it up. First, what do you think is currently the biggest issue in PoE aside from the already hotly discussed topics such as the insane amount of bad items dropping per map? Yeah, itemization is the biggest thing. Second, what is the most interesting, funny data you track and are allowed to share with us? Thanks for your answers. For our April Fool's joke earlier this year, we had secretly added the ability to track which currency items players were leaving behind. Players would be added to a ladder ranked by how much currency they'd left behind. We ended up ditching the plan due to the fact that in Delirium, which was active at the time, players were especially concerned by the idea of having to leave currency behind due to the pressure of the mechanic. Oh! Oh! Chris Wilson. That's a pretty good prank. And whenever you portal, it shows you how much currency you're leaving behind. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Empyrean's teams would have been rank 1. Oh, man. He's rank 1 in everything, though. They pick up their currency. They just kill everything. All right. Mungi says, the recent community events, organized racing events, have been a ton of fun to watch. The player efforts from prize pool donations to organizers paying GGG for private leagues, to streamers and tool creators donating their time, and I'm pretty sure much more that isn't obvious to end viewers, have been absolutely amazing. With 8 months of the year now behind us, I'm super hyped at what GGG must have been saving up for to validate the claim that we're going to work out racing for 2020 to be a big year. Can you share any of the big imminent things that GGG will be providing for racing in the remaining 3 months? Well, they're not. It's going to be 2021. It's getting pushed back. With the pandemic, our resources have been constrained, and it's taking everything that we have just to get the leagues out on time. We have focused our development very narrowly on core activities, and we'll resume working on races as soon as we have the capability to do so. The practical impacts are that we can't hire from overseas until the borders open, and that lockdowns, while immensely effective for public health in New Zealand, do cost us productivity when they occur. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, any other questions on here? Did you guys ask any questions to Chris? You know what I should do? I should just go look at his user, right? Go look at his user and go look at his comments. I mean, look at this. These are all a million more questions. The initial development team. So who was on the initial development team is the question. The initial development team was Chris, Jonathan, and Eric. Mark joined later. There you go. Uh-oh, Mrs. Draconis is texting me. Everything's okay. Baby's okay. All right. Ooh, what is this? Do you have any plans to revisit the master favor system? At the moment, a decent hideout can cost tens of millions of favor, and a master mission in a tier 16 map gives me like 10k or something. Could we maybe scale the favor reward from missions up a bit? Or if not, could we perhaps have the option to sell back unused decorations for favor? We recently reduced the favor cost of many hideout decorations by around 80%. We will keep an eye on this going forward, but don't have any imminent plans. Okay, I appreciate that. Whoops. Longtime fan of the game. Very, very excited for Heist. What thing are you most excited about with the new league? Also, what's your opinion on the toucan? The thing that excites me the most about Heist is that it actually feels like planning and going on a heist. It's really tense and fun. Regarding the toucan image. Oh, nice. They have a dead toucan? Skeleton? Okay. That's funny. Whoops. I don't want to report it. I want to see this. Hey, Chris, you guys have an awesome teasing event every time a new league comes. Knowing that PoE affects a large pool of countries that don't have English as their base language, you guys have thought doing those teasers, and have you guys thought about doing those teasers in different languages? Teasing in a way that would work on English, Spanish, or Portuguese. It's something we experimented with when we first started doing teasers, but it became logistically quite tricky due to translators' time zones and last-minute changes to teasers. We're always looking at how we can make this possible. That's interesting. That's not something that I would have thought of would have been a big dominant question. Hello, Chris. PoE is a great game, but I always had FPS issues in heavy populated zones or at bosses. Do you plan to work on optimization? I'm not having the best PC, but it's pretty okay. This kind of thing are driving me away from the game all the time. Managing expectations. Let's not hope for a massive performance increase, just that it does improve performance and the patch has a lot of technical improvement in it. Okay, there we go. Oh, this is a little PoE joke. Does recently refer to the past 4 seconds? Being that they've been prioritizing it recently, so is it the past 4 seconds? Best of the jokes I've seen nearby. Hi, Chris, PoE player here. And also, I'm trying to make my own game, so I want to ask, how did you make it all to release? As solo developer, I see there's a lot of stuff to do. Animations, 3D models, mechanics, and I feel overwhelmed by it. Wow, developing solo would be very challenging, and I respect you a lot for attempting that. We had a little bit of a starting capital that we used to pay people to help us with development, so that we had grown to around 10 developers by the point that we needed to raise some money from investors, and about 15 people by the time we started our crowdfunding from the community. So having some money available definitely helps when starting a game project if you have large aspirations. My assumption would be that they took out business loans, right? You take out business loans, you get started, and you pay people. You pay talented people. The trick in getting any business started is knowing who to pay. Like, even if you take out business loans, let's say for a minute, any number of business loans. If I say $10,000, $100,000, $1 million, $10 million, it doesn't matter what the amount is. You have to create a business that is going to be able to pay those loans back and make money and feed you and your team that you're working with. So it doesn't matter the amount of money that you're taking out when it comes to leadership and getting off the ground. You've got to have a product that people are going to want to pay for. You need to have a solution to a problem that is genuine enough that people are willing to spend their hard-earned dollars on what you have now worked on. All right. Hi, Chris. I love the idea of Path of Exile and everything I see when there is an update. The problem, though, is I'm shallow, and I let silly things like imperfect graphics bring down my desire to stick with the game. Path of Exile has a nice, consistent aesthetic, but the animations and models are kind of 90s era. Doesn't really compare to more modern games. I've heard there was some desire to change this, but I'm not sure to what extent. All of this is ridiculously petty and subjective. But that being said, is there something you guys ever hear or ever consider prioritizing to attract superficial people who might otherwise like the game but not the graphics? Chris says, we're updating all the character models in Path of Exile 2. This requires us to re-rig all player equipment to meet the new models. We also incrementally improve the graphics art with every expansion, so it may look better than you remember. I mean, that's certainly true for me. When I first started playing Path of Exile, the graphics were definitely a hiccup. Chris, as an avid fisherman, I'm always intrigued by PoE. Why do I find it exponentially more difficult to catch fish in game than in real life? What mods are on your intelligence? Oh, what mods are on your rod? No intelligence. There you go. Oh, man. Hey, Chris, I play Glacial Hammer every league. Can I expect some really nice alternate quality on it? It exists. This is above. Oh, why would you do that to yourself? Oh, yuck. Okay, I think we've answered most of these. So let's go. Let's F5 again. Let's see if this will refresh. Sendroid says, hope this is not inappropriate, but I wonder what G3 Iron is working as IRL. That's a great question. Whenever you figure it out, let me know. But this is an AMA for Chris Wilson, not an AMA for me. Fair enough. Okay, what's this question? Are you worried about the huge change of links and socketing? How has the dev team felt about working with that change internally? It's a pretty big band-aid to rip off. Oh, we're super happy with it because it adds more depth to the system for advanced players and makes things less annoying for everyone. Well, there you go. Not a band-aid at all. What is this answer to this question? When can we expect the mobile version? Around the same time as PoE 2. Okay, cool. Oh, this is a big question. Hey, Chris, any chance of seeing shapeshifting this league, or will this be a PoE 2 skill? I don't think we're adding shapeshifting before Path of Exile 2. So here's the deal with this, guys, on shapeshifting. I'm just going to say this right now. We know we're getting new character models in Path of Exile 2, right? Think about this from a project management standpoint. If you are designing new character models and everything has to be designed around those new character models for that new engine, or for that new aspect, those new graphics, that new art, if everything's got to be done for that game, if they were to bring shapeshifting prior to Path of Exile 2, it means that they would have to double their workload, because now they have to make models for what a shapeshifting character looks like now, and they have to make models for what a shapeshifting character looks like in PoE 2. And that's just one aspect, let alone all the other stuff. That's just a visual representation, right? That's just one aspect of saying, hey, we're adding a workload on top of what we've already committed to do. So it doesn't mean it's not coming. Grinding Gear Games is always exceeding our expectations, but that's just something to think about. All right. You son of a bitch, I'm in. Do you miss your hair in the winter months? You get thick skin by reading Reddit. Yep. Well put. Okay, here's a bunch of answers that are just yes. Hi, Chris. Is there any new raisable specters from Heist? I love specter builds and always love new mobs to play around with. Yes. All right. New specters. Spectromancers rejoice. Woohoo. All right, what's the second yes? Hey, Chris, is there a particular Easter egg or secret that you're especially proud of? Perhaps one that the community has yet to catch on to? Yes. Why would you ask him in a yes or no format? You ask what, not is. Ask questions such that there is room for a response. Oh. This in and of itself is like an Easter egg or secret that he's proud of. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Granted. That's pretty funny. Hey, Chris, any chance you could tell us why Patrick is such a cool guy? Because he's humble. Okay. There you go. IMO, all the features from past leagues going core over time has made the game extremely bloated and directionless. The earlier days of Path of Exile were a lot more focused and enjoyable for me overall, as I wasn't overwhelmed by feature creep. Is there going to be a pass of current content going into Path of Exile? Yes. The number that they've floated is around 10. That around 10 leagues will be active at any point in time. Hi, Chris. What about auto-sorting items in special tabs that you promised? Okay, so this is regarding the tab sorting. We've almost finished work on this, but it's unlikely to be ready at the launch of Heist. We are hopeful that we can release it shortly after launch. We need to make sure that it's very thoroughly tested and safe before its release. That makes a lot of sense. Hi, Chris. Have you thought on have your thoughts on trade changed since the manifesto? I find interacting with the trade system to be consistently the least fun part of my league play. Thanks for the otherwise stellar game. We will stand by the fundamental philosophies, but of course do try to fix annoying problems as they come up. There you go. I like that. I know that that's like one of the biggest hot button issues in the history of Path of Exile is auction house or not, or fixed trade, but I can appreciate when a company says, this is our design philosophy. That's why it's a design philosophy. This takes priority over other stuff. And that includes maybe some of our customers not being happy. By the way, if you're enjoying today's video, let me know that you're enjoying today's video, and let YouTube know that you're enjoying today's video. Go ahead and hit a thumbs up button. And if you haven't hit the little red bell to be notified about future videos, now's the time to do it. Or unsub and unnotify yourself if you don't want to be alerted, because pretty much every day in between now and September 18th, we've got new discussions. Pretty much every day. So just be aware. Don't say I didn't warn you. Like, we got tons of stuff coming out. Hey Chris, when you're developing a league, do you have a certain theme in mind? Like how Bestiary and Harvest League were more craft-centric, or how Heist looks similar to Betrayal? Do you go in having that in mind, or does that kind of work itself out along the way? I think they've said in the past that they straight up use movies to inspire themselves for like themes. We do have a plan for what we want to achieve from a league in terms of gameplay feel and economic impact. As you can see, it varies a lot from league to league, which is probably good because it causes variety and we learn from it. All right, let's see what he says here. Chris, with the announcement that a Mac version is in the works, does this mean that a native Linux client is also on the cards? At this stage, no. Other devs have told me to be very afraid of the amount of work to support it. But I hear it works quite well using modern compatibility tools. We'd want to maintain that. Okay, that's fair. Thanks for the AMA, Chris. Will you lose the heist if you get disconnected, or can you retry like maps? If you get disconnected before the alarm is triggered, you can still return to the heist. Okay, so it's more forgiving than Labyrinth, right? There's still going to be bugs, but at least in theory, Heist is going to be more forgiving than Labyrinth. Hey, what's up, Max G? Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the kind words, man. It's very kind of you to say so. Not only are we live here today on YouTube, but we're live. I just started last week on Twitch, messing around on there, doing variety gaming. And so we'll be live over there tomorrow, actually. In how many hours? In like 19 hours from now is when we'll be live. Over on Twitch. On Good Guy Gaming. 3 is the handle. All that information's down below, though. In the channel or the webpage information. Click more info. There you go. That's what it says. Are you worried about the huge change? No, we already said this one. What's the next one? Let's keep going, Chris. Give us a couple more questions. Then I'm going to go eat some dinner. Last I checked, no. What's this one? Was there a mirror? I need to know. Last I checked, no. Oh, okay. That's confirmation. Hey, anybody who said they lost a mirror in Delirium, at least last Chris checked, nobody lost or forgot to grab any mirrors in Delirium. So if that's been bugging you since, like, you know, February, don't worry about it. You didn't lose your mirror, okay? All right, is this the new stash tabs? Yep, most likely after Heist launch. How many times is he going to get the same question? Hey, Chris, just a quick MTG question. Which are your favorite color pie combination, and do you consider yourself a Timmy, Johnny, or Spike? Black and blue like my opponents. Guys, I need some MTG players to translate this for me. So does this mean that he likes to play as black and blue? Is that Simic? Is black and blue Simic? Or is Simic blue and green? I forget. It's been like a year and a half since I played any Magic. Demir, there we go. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Mago. Thank you, Skylar. Glad to have some MTG folks in. It's Demir, and it means he's a jerk. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. All right, what is this? I'm new to PoE, started late Metamorph, and quarantine allowed me to dive in. Even started streaming, struggling my way through SSF thanks to Harvest. Unrelated, how did you lose so much weight? You look great. It's inspiring. The boring way. Lifting, running, counting calories. Thanks, though. Down over 70 pounds from the start of last year. Wow! That's amazing. That's a lot. Patch notes when? Please don't break Bex. I need her. Oh, please don't be asking for that. Okay, those of you who are wondering when do patch notes come out, they typically come out like the Tuesday before the league launches. So if the league is going to launch on September 18th, on what for us here in the States is Friday, for us here in North America is Friday the 18th, then patch notes come out the Tuesday before that. They come out 3 days beforehand typically. Sasha says, what will happen if you log out in Heist? That's been a question that's come up a couple times. If you log out or disconnect before the alarm goes off, you have a chance to go back in. You have a chance to go back in. Once the alarm goes off, though, it's all locked out. Hey, Chris, I know PoE 2 is in the works right now. Do you think that it sets the stage for PoE 3 in another 10 years? Is the plan for more successive PoEs as the game engines become outdated? We have zero plans at the moment for PoE 3, but 10 years is a long time away. So why not, I guess? Oh my goodness, PoE 3 confirmed. Right? That's what this is, right? So why not, I guess? Guys, ladies and gentlemen, we've got worldwide breaking news thanks to the hard work of whatever... I can't read this guy's name. But thanks to the hard work of whatever the F2, our journalist on the ground was live with Chris Wilson in an AMA and asked the question, what are the plans for 10 years from now? And Chris Wilson said, why not, I guess. Therefore, PoE 3 is confirmed. Do you feel these overly convoluted mechanics are right for the direction of an action RPG? I literally cannot get a single friend interested in Heist because they see it as Betrayal 2.0. Why can't we get a push your luck kill league? Chris, what a great response. This is customer service 101. Hey, you used words to say about something you were unhappy with. So, how can I use your words to ask you to explain the words you used? Right? It's another way of saying, am I hearing you clearly? Right? Or what I'm hearing you say, and then you pair it back to somebody. Right? It's both affirming, hey, I'm affirming what you're saying, I'm with you, but can you expand on it? Can you give me a little bit more? Because not everybody knows what the chaotic one means when he says a push your luck kill league. Which, at least what comes to my mind, just from those combination of words, would be delirium. Like, Can you explain what you would like? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's have a couple more questions before I go eat some wonderful, wonderful roast. Hey, Chris, I have a question about your IT and systems teams and how they adapted to support Grinding Gear Games' transition to remote work. Do you have any lessons or revelations you can share with other small to medium-sized businesses who are struggling to transition to remote work? Chris says the hardest part was maintaining security while transitioning to remote work. I don't really have any tips, though, beyond all the regular best practices. That's fair. Celestial Elephant coming anytime soon. It's on the way. What is that joke? What is the Celestial Elephant? I'm confused, guys. Why didn't you show Blazing Salvo on the trailer so we could see if it works well with mines and totems? It wasn't ready yet, but we're planning to reveal a demo of it in action sometime next week. Very cool. Hey, Chris Wilson, DapMods here, looking to get more information regarding the interaction with rogues in the Heist League. Question 1. How important are your rogues' gear, and is there a way to micromanage their equipment without visiting each one specifically? How long does it take for your rogue to on average to interact with the doors, vaults, and enter different corridors? My worry is too much idle or waiting time per heist. The answer is, hey, it's important for efficiency, but isn't critical by any means. The team are looking at a way of flickering between them quickly so you can manage all of their inventories. 2, it doesn't take long, just a few seconds. It can be made more efficient by leveling up your rogues or improving their items. It doesn't feel like idle time as there are monsters to kill. That's good. That's good. Longtime fan of the game, very, very excited for Heist. What thing are you most excited about with the new league? Also, what's your opinion on the toucan? We already did that one. What about this one? Thanks for the reply. Love the game and hope you and the team have a great day. Also, tell Beck she is the greatest community manager around. She says, aw. There you go. So she's helping him with the AMA. All right, and that's going to be all of our coverage right here at G3 for the Path of Exile AMA. So if you're looking to follow along with this, I will be a bro and post the link here in chat. So if you want to follow along with all of the AMA stuff, there's already 531 comments on this post that was posted about an hour ago now with Chris Wilson. So go there, ask all of your questions. If you've ever had a question that you've wanted to ask somebody at Grinding Gear Games, you've got a chance to ask the lead developer of Path of Exile right there at Grinding Gear Games, Chris Wilson himself. So I'd encourage you to go over, ask Chris a question, and of course be as pleasant and be as kind as you can as you're asking your question. Make sure you communicate, I don't even know. Communicate your question clearly. There you go. How about that? Anyway, thanks so much for joining us for today's streams on Twitch and right here on YouTube. We'll be live in about 19 hours playing another variety game over on Twitch, which of course there's more information down below in the video description. But if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy our hype coverage as well as all of our Path of Exile discussions, make sure that you give us a like, that you give us a follow, and that you ding the bell to be notified about future video discussions just like this one. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I hope today is the day a Mirror of Calandra drops for you.